I was receiving hate for trying to encourage people to just move their body.
You were? What kind of hate was that exactly? What were they hating about it?
Like, people were just commenting on the forum. They were saying, this is not a real workout. Like, you don't even look good. Why would I take workout advice from you?
That's insane. Sander, welcome to my kitchen.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Now, I know you as an influencer, certainly in body positivity space, human rights, trans rights. What else should we know about you?
Yeah, I'm Sander. I'm 27 years old. I'm an influencer online, but I'm also a digital marketer behind the scenes. And my goal in life is really to spread empathy and help others. You know, I want to be a motivator. I want to encourage people to love themselves and love others. And so that's what I do through my work, both online and offline, each and every day.
So when did body image messaging become activism for you?
Yeah, so it was during COVID when, you know, we kind of all got stuck inside and we no longer go to the gym.
Yeah.
And it was during that time when I was really trying to find my identity as an influencer and how I could support other people.
Yeah.
And so I had a nice backyard and I decided to start doing backyard workouts. And I was trying to do a lot of functional workouts that anyone could do from home. And so that's when I started realizing it was more than just like motivating people. It was actually a version of activism. Over time, that fitness content then transitioned into some more body positivity content and this idea that, hey, accept and love your body in its truest form, and that everybody's on their own distinct and unique path and journey. And some people are at this part of their journey and some people are at this part of their journey. Maybe I go to the gym for different reasons than you. Maybe I go to the gym for my mental health. Maybe I'm not just working out as lifting weights, but I also love to play sports with my dad, and that's my way to connect with him. Or maybe sometimes a walk is working out, and that's just to clear my head. So people take it as laziness, but it's more that it aligns better with my goals.
If you don't have the equipment or you don't have a gym membership, you can still do stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can work out from anywhere. I could lift up this right here and start curling it. And like, if I do it enough times, I'm gonna start being sore. I mean, any type of movement is good movement and should be celebrated. Unfortunately, society in a lot of cases tells us that we have to look or act a certain way in order to, you know, fit the mold.
Is there a relationship between advocating for trans causes and body positivity?
I think a lot of things are connected in a lot of different ways. But I would say in general, a big experience that did shape, you know, my passion for body positivity was my experience with my trans sister, Jazz. And take out the trans aspect of it, just Jazz struggled with binge eating disorder. So I was really struggling to figure out how I can support her. I realized that, you know, in some ways I was trying to push my own ideas and narratives, just like these people who are saying you're weak and lazy were doing to me. Over time, I developed a much stronger relationship in the way that I could support my sister and help her get on her own body positivity journey in a way that was not destructive, but constructive from her. And through that experience, I then was able to develop, I feel like, a great perspective on how I can use my platforms to effectuate that same change on a lot of people. But then it goes deeper, and you ask the direct relation from trans rights and body positivity. A lot of people don't understand that there's a difference between body dysmorphia, being, you know, trapped in the wrong body, but they should have the choice to do what they want with their body, just like it's very important for people to be supported in their body positivity journeys. When did body positivity or trans rights even become political? To me, it just felt like I was encouraging people to love their body. What's political about that?
Take all those struggles at a very personal level and now take an administration that wants to absolutely say they don't exist. But the impact of that just must be extraordinary.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the problems that are happening in society are hidden by the system and hidden by the people at the top who want to blame the people at the bottom. So dehumanize, blame the trans people, blame the immigrants for the problems that are happening in society, then you won't actually look up at the people who are creating these problems. And I think one of the first places that it starts is the food that we eat. Everybody eats food. We can't obviously rely on the people at top right now to actually make us healthy. So it's up to all of us to do and create our own goals each and every day within our means and figure out how we can, you know, afford our groceries in the healthiest way possible. And it's also to rely on community. So if you need help, don't be afraid to ask for help.
There are people like us who fight the good fight, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. And that's an important part. That's why we speak up. You know, we bring attention to these causes, and it does make a difference. And it's not just people like you and me that maybe have a platform to do that. Anybody can do that. You know, we saw it with No Kings. If we do it in large numbers, it makes a difference and it changes policy.
Before I ever really was creating social media content, but I realized the power of influence, and I realized that, you know, it was important for me to be more than just the proud big brother to my trans sister amplifying her message, but that for every LGBTQ plus person, there likely is a family, friend, or neighbor who needs to be an ally to the community, because only about 5 to 7% of the population, I don't know the exact numbers now, identifies as LGBTQ+, which means 90 to 95% can be allies. And so I realized that I could use my voice to start being a voice for change specifically for the LGBTQ+ community, but I also had my other passions. And so you would see me talking about fitness, being a family guy. At that time I was single and I was running around just having fun. So I had my kind of buckets of who I was, and I was sharing myself with the world, and that's how I started to gain influence, grow power. And since that day, and both behind the scenes and in front of the camera, I believe everybody has influence. Everybody has power. And collectively, we have a lot of power. And it's so important that we use our voice to create change in the world that we want to see, because that's the only way we create a better food system. That's the only way we encourage people to love their bodies and create a world where societal standards and expectations don't say you need to look a certain way in order to be loved or love yourself.
Amen. In doing the work you're doing, how do you keep yourself? How's your mental health? What do you do for yourself?
I think being active in the messages I preach online are a lot of what I do each and every day. I do stay active. I usually work out 5 to 7 times a week doing something active. You know, as long as I do one thing, moving my body a day, then I did one thing to get better, and that helps calm my mind and be like, okay, I did one thing to get better today. And that's my goal for myself. And I go to therapy. I think therapy's great. A lot of people say men, you're weak if you go to therapy, and I think it's exactly the opposite. Men should go to therapy if you feel that you're struggling a little bit.
100%.
What helps you stay so calm during all these times? Because you have such a calm persona.
I don't know. Inside, I'm hanging by a thread. You know, I feel anxiety. I have anxiety. I have panic disorder. But ultimately, I think what I've always seemed to have had outwardly and have developed inwardly is perspective, right? I do feel the cumulative effect of worrying about others, not just my kids, but also, just the empathetic extension that I would give to anybody who was under attack in some public way. And so that does weigh on me. And if I don't get out and have a walk or something, if I don't do something to sort of breathe air and move a little bit, then it weighs on me. And I've gone weeks without doing that, with just forgetting to do it or neglecting it. So, and that's when I feel really, really bad about myself, and I get sort of angry and ornery.
It's very cool that you describe it that way, and I also think it's cool that it then intersected back with what we just talked about, how I say, trying to do one thing active a day, and you said that that's one thing that really helps you. And
then there's the question of how do we talk to our kids about this, and in an age-appropriate way, because when they're really young, you don't really need to, but as they become aware of certain things, it's important to talk to them about even what's happening in your country, what's happening on that sort of on that human scale.
So many people say that my parents are the worst parents in the world for unconditionally loving their child. My parents went through the process with medical professionals. My parents said, okay, we know the statistics of not allowing our child to transition and be their most authentic self, so we're gonna be the parents who support you, love you, and they've done that for me and all my siblings every step of the way. And so that's great parents right there. And I think it's so important that we start having these uncomfortable conversations, and that everyone who cares about the basic human rights of other people starts to realize that, hey, maybe I need to get out of my own comfort zone in order to create a more comfortable world for the future.
Yeah. So from this whole conversation, what's something that you'd want people to take away from it?
I want people to realize that leading with empathy is not weakness. Living with empathy is not weakness. And encouraging people to live as their most authentic self is the way we should all be living our life. It's not our place to tell people how they should live their life, whether that's their identity, whether that's their body, whether that's their choices. It's up to people to make their own decisions, and it's up for you to accept and love those decisions, or zip your mouth and stay quiet. That's what it's all about.
So where can people follow your work?
So yeah, you can just follow me on social media at Sander_Jennings across platforms. I'm on most of them. I'm there, fighting the good fight,
Fantastic.
spreading love, and just trying to help people each and every day. So if you feel like you want to be part of that, come join my safe space at Sander_Jennings.
Awesome. Yeah, and I've got a fundraiser going with Feeding America. I'll put the link down below because food insecurity is a big part of my cause. We're almost at, I think we're past $75,000 raised.
That's huge. I saw that.
Looking to get 100,000. So please give to that. Yeah, that's it. Be kind. Wash your behind.
Be kind and watch your behind.
Watch. That's good too. Yeah.
Oh, what would you?
I say wash my behind.
Oh.
Because it's really important that.
And watch.
Yeah, watch your behind and wash it too, and it's important. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't tell you. I advocate for bidets.
Oh, love bidets.
You're welcome to use one.
I might have to.